Dad's videos. Make sure to share this video with family and friends, like and subscribe, and turn on post notifications so you get notified for all my dad's new videos. My social media will be tagged down below so you can follow it. And just remember, Jesus loves you.
Hi guys, we're getting a lot of questions at the moment asking where to buy silver or gold, and of course there are many places in which you could, and this is not an endorsement, but we tend to use bullionbypost.com. They've got a wide range of gold and silver, and if you put in the code that we've listed here below, you'll get a 1 ounce silver coin on any order over £250. Very nice. Just in case our channel ever gets taken down from YouTube, which there's a possibility because we are challenging a number of things. If you go to my website, drcharlieward.co.uk, and register there, we'll keep you in touch as to what's going on. And please, as Justin always says, remember to subscribe and like and share with friends so that we can get the message out there. It's very important through a difficult time to get the truth out in a world that is not very true. And just remember, Jesus loves you, even if everybody else thinks you're a twat. Interesting times, eh?
Wow. I don't know about interesting, but headache more like.
So tell me what happened.
Basically, so back in January, my eldest daughter had her HPV, and she was really severely ill from it. She had diarrhea, she had stomachache, she was in bed with fever for about 4 days, and I just thought, oh my God, this isn't normal. I was really worried that I was going to have to take her to hospital. And then COVID happened, and I just thought, I'm going to get some emails in and just state that I don't want I've got a younger daughter as well, and I just stated to both schools, I don't want either of my daughters participating in any more vaccinations whatsoever. And they replied to me as well saying, okay, that's fine. And then obviously 2 days ago, or 3 now, my daughter comes back from school, and I've only noticed because she's got a plaster on her arm. And I said, what's that? And she said, oh, we had vaccinations yesterday. I was like, what? Are you serious? She was like, yeah. I was like, what was it for? She said, I don't know. I said, what do you mean you don't know? She said, I don't know what they've put in there. I was absolutely livid. I was just so angry. And then obviously I made that video, swore a bit too much, but when you're passionate about something, I was just so angry, and I don't know, just my head was like that.
What did the school say?
Pardon?
What was the school's response?
So I rang the school and I said, look, can you tell me what the hell my daughter's had a vaccination for, when I've sent you emails saying no, she's not having any more. And her words to me were, oh, it's nothing to do with us, the NHS come in and just do it. I'm like, what do you mean it's nothing to do with you? My child's under your care. You're supposed to be looking after my child. You know that I've said no. You shouldn't be letting them do it. And she said to me, well, the nurses have the authority to override your decision. And I'm just like,
no, they don't. No, they
disgusting.
don't.
Absolutely disgusting.
I was trying to work out, because we had a very similar sort of situation but different in Madrid, where 2 children, they had their temperatures taken at school. They were deemed to be too high. They didn't contact the parents, and they took them into a quarantine location away from the parents. And I've got some damn good lawyers around the world, including in Spain and in the UK, and I got my lawyer involved immediately. And later that afternoon, they were both released. But I was then told by the lawyer this was just to wake people up. This wasn't going to happen. That's what I wondered, whether this was done in the same vein with yours, where they're doing it to get people to react to how bad things could be if we'd gone under a new world order, which was what they were planning to do.
Yeah. Wow. It's
And
funny how it's all changed, isn't it, since COVID has come out?
yeah, the thing is most of the UK and most of the world is still fast asleep to what's actually going on. My journey started right at the start of this because I knew what was going to happen, because I was told what was going to happen. So when it happened, it was no surprise. And I started telling people, look, the COVID-19, the vaccine, the virus, the 5G, the riots and the alien invasion, these are all part of the plan as a smokescreen for the global financial reset. But what they're doing now is exposing how evil governments are and how evil the operating systems in each country are. Because that's what Trump's trying to do, is drain the swamp, get rid of these evil people. But he's exposing them for what they are, and it's very, very clear that if it's a complete abuse of power of what they're doing. Number one, that the hospital has absolutely no authority to go into the school and do that without parents' consent. And there's 101 lawyers in the UK that will defend you on that one. And then you could technically, if you wanted to, be a complete arsehole and sue the school, because you give them the authority to look after your children, and they're not doing it. Then,
well, this is it. This is what I mean. People saying, oh, you know, go and do this, do that, and like obviously I've never been in this situation before. So Monday I am going to seek legal advice, and I am going to, you know, try and sue, and just to like get awareness out there really for more parents, so that they don't have to go through the same thing and think that they can't do nothing about it.
I had a Dr. Q, who's gone out there and told everybody what's in these vaccines and how dangerous they all are, and how he said to me he's given up being a doctor, and he goes to sleep at night crying how many children he's given this injection to, and the damage that he could have done. He's now done the research, because what he did was he'd gone through what he called med school, because he's an American, and he'd been completely lied to for the whole time as to what these vaccinations were. And he's now done his own research and found out what's actually in them. He's absolutely fuming. He's threatening to sue the college, the med school, for misinformation. I mean, we're right at the beginning of a great awakening right now. And these little things need to wake people up to what we nearly fell into. We nearly fell into this complete control of a very, very corrupt system, the deep state, the cabals. They were in control, and Trump's come along and he's breaking them down, but he's exposing them before he takes them down. Because if he didn't expose them, nobody would believe how evil they were. And what happened to your daughter would have happened to every single child in the UK if Trump hadn't come along and put a stop to these evil people.
Yeah, I totally agree.
But people need to wake up to what's actually going on. And what Trump won't do is he won't come into the country like Bush and Obama did and remove people from power. You know, that's people don't like that. They didn't like it in Iran. They didn't like it in Iraq. They didn't like it in Syria. They didn't like it in all these other countries. They didn't like regime change. None of us like regime change. So he's not going to come in and change things, but he's going to expose these people for what they are. And that's what he's doing, obviously, through you and your daughter right now, exposing how evil these people are. And they need to be held accountable.
Yeah.
Because they are downright evil. And I'm fortunate because I'm originally from Ipswich in England many, many years ago. And the headmaster at the school that Justin goes to, our little boy, is from Norwich. So I can take the piss out of him non-stop, because we've always had the banter between Ipswich and Norwich. And that's what I've opened him up to seeing what's going on. He's now very much aware of what's going on. And I've provided him hard evidence with it. But it's very important that we learn something from these lessons, and you hold these people to account. Yeah,
definitely. What makes me even more angry is the fact that the NHS told the school that my daughter had requested to have the vaccine. I was like, well, that's a total lie, because she didn't even know that you were coming in to do it. So how can, you know, a 13-year-old request to have a vaccine? They didn't even ask her if she was allergic. They didn't even tell her, you know, what the side effects or anything were.
No.
No 13-year-old is going to say, yeah, give me the vaccine, if they know it's going to give them diarrhea, stomachache, you know, headache, you know, all these side effects. They're not going to say, yeah, give it me, are they?
No, exactly right. Well, very few kids actually like injections of any kind.
Well, exactly. They've gone in there, brainwashed them, made her feel like, oh, she's adult enough to decide for herself, and it's a good thing for her. And her friends got it done, so she's gone along with it.
Yeah, yeah. No, they need to be held accountable because, look, this without a shadow of a doubt, this is a smokescreen that's going on, but it's a very complex smokescreen, and there will be casualties on the way. And your daughter is one of those casualties that's been given a vaccine against your will.
Yeah.
But these are to wake people up to what's actually going on. You know, the situation in Madrid, I can't even imagine what the mother thought when the 2 children were taken away and put into quarantine, and they were told to come and pick them up in 2 weeks. It's like, really? But then that was done purely to wake people up, because the Spanish are even more passionate than you in your video. I mean, they'll kill people. You know,
I know. I did get some hate back from that. You gobby cow, and I was like, well, I'm sorry, but when it's your children, you are, aren't you?
Yeah. Well, look, I was in a very similar position to you, where my daughter Carla, somebody tried to kidnap her when she was a little girl, and it turned out he was a paedophile on bail, and some old lady screamed loud enough for him to disappear, and I found out afterwards, and I went straight to the police and I said, you've got 24 hours to find this guy, because if you don't, I will find him and I will kill him. It's quite simple. And they're going, well, if you kill him, you'll go into prison, you know, for a very long time. I said, it's worth it for me. It's absolutely worth it. If somebody attacks my children, I'll defend them with everything I've got.
Yeah.
They did manage to catch him. And that was in Torquay, so not far from you guys. It was in Torquay where they grew up. But,
this is it. People who don't have children won't. They won't understand. You know, they won't get it. I read something in the paper. I had to write it down because my brain is just useless. It was something that the WHO had actually. It's on their website. It says an implied consent process of which by parents are informed of imminent vaccination through social mobilization and communication, sometimes including letters directly addressed to the parents. Subsequently, the physical presence of the child or adolescent with or without an accompanying parent at the vaccination session is considered to imply consent. Disgusting, isn't it?
in it, yeah.
Couldn't believe it when I read that. And then this one, this is in the newspaper. Where is it? Brits could get a COVID vaccine as early as October, officials have said. And then the bottom bit says any manufacturers will be immune from civil liability if it is later found to cause harm after being rushed through.
Correct.
Well, it's there. There in black and white for people to see, and then you know people are going to get injured from it or whatever, and then what they're going to do, they can't say, well, you've done this, and they'll say, well, we've informed you, we've let you know.
There's a couple of facts that are very interesting to point out, that the only people that actually died of COVID-19, the only people, had the flu vaccination. Not one person who had not had the vaccination was affected by it. That tells you an awful lot about the vaccination.
Yeah.
Puts you in a bad position, it doesn't put you in a better position. I've never had a vaccination of any kind, and I haven't had the flu or anything like that for probably 10-15 years. So I look after my own immune system with healthy eating, with exercise, with everything else. Just basic things. My wife is incredibly healthy. I mean, she's unbelievably healthy. So we start off the day with fresh orange juice or fresh grapefruit juice or whatever. A spoonful of ginger and honey, which they shred up and what have you. But just look after just healthy eating. And our immune systems are more than capable of fighting off.
Of course they are.
And if you actually analyse what COVID-19 coronavirus is, it's common cold. Nothing more. Not even as bad as man flu.
No, I know. Well, every year when kids go back to school, I mean, I watched, I can't remember what his name was. He was on TV the other day, not TV, sorry, I was watching on the internet, and he was going on about how every year, literally, as soon as the kids go back to school, everybody gets the flu.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. So COVID is no different.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
We're going to have a huge spike in the next 2 months of deaths.
Yeah, it's funny how they predicted it, wasn't it?
Yeah, but it's very easy to predict because there's 4 reasons why we're going to get a huge spike. Number one, is people that should have had an operation between March and August that were denied an operation due to this pandemic. So they needed an operation and they didn't have it, so they will die. And then what the most scary one is, people who've been wearing a mask in the summer have broken down their immune system by between 17 and 20%. And that puts them into a critical phase. So when germs come along, they'll have no immune system. So there's a very good, especially the older people, will die very, very easily when germs come along. The third reason is that people will commit suicide when they realize it's been a complete and utter scam. They've lost their business, their house, their livelihood. And then there'll be the fourth one, which is people who die of a heart attack because of the stress and what they're going through right now. But there'll be a huge spike. And this is why they're doing the lockdown. The lockdown's for two reasons. There'll be a lockdown worldwide for the arrests of the final members of the deep state and the cabal, and also for the change of the financial system, which is nearly done now. So those two things will be covered. But every single death that happens between now and November will go down as a COVID-19 victim. So it'll look like a massive spike, but it'll have absolutely nothing to do with influenza or COVID-19.
Yeah, I've seen enough of that.
But you're absolutely right to stand up against these people.
Well, make other parents aware. I mean, I've had so many parents message me, and I've just been overwhelmed for the last few days. I haven't been able to cope, sat on my phone with all these messages, but I've tried to speak to as many people as I can, because a lot of people, didn't know about this loophole. And on the BBC, I think it was yesterday or the day before, I was on the news. Obviously they didn't mention my name, but they just said about my video, and the woman actually said on the BBC, it is true, there is a loophole that nurses can override your parents' authority. Now that should be a red flag to everybody.
Of course it should. Of course it should.
If people can't see that, then
well, they need to make public what's actually in these vaccines, because what's in these vaccines is absolutely scary. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Oh yeah, you've got heavy metals in there, aborted fetal cells, mercury, the list goes on. And if they actually made that aware to people what was in them, I can guarantee most people wouldn't want to put that in them.
They wouldn't go anywhere near it. They wouldn't go anywhere near it. No, it's unbelievable what they're getting away with at the moment. But Trump is exposing them for what they are, and he's allowing.
Yeah, no, I've seen a lot of what he's been doing, and it's a shame a lot of people, slag him off and say he's this and he's that. But I think if he, if Biden wins, we're in the shit streak, aren't we?
Well, there's absolutely no chance of Biden winning, because they'll be using a new voting system in America, which is the quantum voting system, which is digital. So it can't be hacked. And the only way that Biden would win was if they were to completely hack the system. Well, they can't do it with this. That's why they spent millions on these postal votes, which will be, and Trump's letting them continue to spend all this money on postal votes because he knows that they're not going to use that system.
Have you heard? I should have written his name down. There's a guy on Facebook. He's got his YouTube channel or something. And he's going on about he's got somebody on the inside that gives him, things about what's going on. And he said that apparently some coup. Have you heard of the coup?
Yeah.
Yeah, apparently that if Trump wins, that there's going to be street fight.
Well, that's what they're planning. That's what Antifa are planning, and Black Lives Matter, all that group, which are all terrorist organizations, by the way. They're all them. You couldn't make it up, because the money that goes through Black Lives Matter and Antifa is all Democratic, from Democrats to Democrats. It's coming in from the Clinton Foundation and George Soros, going through these foundations and coming out the other side to Biden. You couldn't make it up. And look, Trump is bringing down the deep state and the cabal. They're not going to go down without a fight. And we're seeing that fight now. They've lost without a shadow of a doubt, but they're putting up a really big fight at the end. And they'll cause absolute mayhem, because when the election results come through, it won't be a 51-49. It'll be a 90% to 10%, because it'll be done on the digital system. He'll absolute landslide it. 50, 51, or maybe even 52 states.
I hope it does.
So they're absolutely, they're up the creek without a paddle right now, and they're putting up a fight. They're in the last the death roll, if you like, of defending,
Actually,
because they've been in control for 1,000 years, you know, and what it's doing is wrestling back control by good from evil. And we're seeing how evil they are, that they can just walk into a school, take your child and inject it with anything. You know, I don't know if you were, how old you are, but I remember the thalidomide drug that they gave to pregnant women that was supposed to be a wonder drug. And then, of course, the children came out with without arms or without legs.
yeah, I have read about that. I'm 37, so
Yeah.
I have
Yeah,
read
that was
about
before
that.
you, I think.
Yeah,
I'm 60.
I have read about it, and I have seen pictures and stuff of that. It's quite disturbing.
But it's, yeah, you picked up on a very important point, that all of these companies, you can't actually sue them for any of these vaccines if they go wrong.
Funny how they've got that out now, hasn't it, for the
Isn't it
COVID?
just? You have to have a vaccine, but we're not. But you won't be able to sue us if anything goes wrong.
Yeah.
That must tell you there's something wrong in them.
Yeah, of course it does. And then you've still got these sheep lining up that say, "Oh no, you know, it's the best thing for us. The government want to save us." No, they don't
They want
save us. They want you to snitch on your neighbour.
I know, exactly.
For having a little tea party or something.
You couldn't make it up, could you? You couldn't make it up.
And the fact that the sad thing is, there's people out there who think for their own safety, oh my God, there's a group of people having a tea party next door. I've got to call the police on them. Do you know what I mean? Get a life.
They're unbelievable. They're unbelievable, aren't they?
It makes you laugh. I'm just like, I'd never snitch on my neighbours for stuff like that. Go on, have a party, for fuck's sake.
It just shows the type of people that are running our lives right now. And things will change. Things will change in the next year or so. And when we come to the next election, we'll know exactly what not to vote for. Because the people that are running our world right now, apart from Trump at this moment in time, Trump is exposing how evil they all are. And we're starting to see it. You know, we see it down in Cornwall there, where they just think they've got the right to walk into your school and inject your children without parental consent. It's just absolute lunacy. And without telling you what's in there.
Well, you'd think the nurses would go in and actually ask the child, you know, are you allergic? You know, have you got any, have you had any effects or anything? And, you know, and this woman, Stephanie White, I'd love to rip her a new backside. Do you know what I mean? And so how do people like that sleep at night knowing that they're putting this stuff in these children and not asking if it's going to, you know, makes you wonder who these sorts of people are, really, doesn't it?
It does. But it's very difficult at the moment, because I was aware that that Trump was going to expose what's going on. I never realized it would go to the extent where they're actually injecting children, because I thought he'd put a stop to it before then. But obviously they're going to allow a few people to get injected, so they realize what the hell's going on. And people need to rise up against these people, because what they're doing is completely and utterly wrong. And Trump won't come in and do it for us. We've got to stand up and do it ourselves.
Well, this is it. People should be standing together, shouldn't they? Not
they should be, instead of
just being divided.
Yeah.
They're trying to divide us all, to fight against each other, snitch on each other. You know, oh, stay at home, we'll pay you 50 quid, go out and eat, and then you've got to stay back in again. Fuck off. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly. You're absolutely right. They've lost the battle on the division of man and woman and black and white. What's his name? Matt Hancock, he talks a lot of rubbish, doesn't he? What a twat.
I hear him talk some rubbish to a woman called Julia Hartley. Do you ever watch her?
I've never watched it. I've heard of it.
She had a conversation with him, I think, the other day, and he just dribbles on some. He didn't even have the bloody data there to confirm what he was talking about, and I just thought, you haven't got a clue what you're talking about. You really don't.
Well, his surname gives it away, doesn't it?
Well.
Exactly. Couldn't make it up, could you?
Well, yeah. And the other thing is, what makes me laugh is Boris Johnson, you know, supposedly having the coronavirus. He's all fit and well now, isn't he?
Yeah.
But does he need a vaccine? Has he got to have a vaccine to save his life? Or, you know?
Do you know what? I've been looking at what's been going on, because I haven't lived in England for many years now, but I watch it from the outside, and some of the stuff they're coming out with. It's the same here in Spain. You couldn't make it up. They come up with some of the, like, how come suddenly Newcastle's locked down, and North Wales is not.
It was Leicester, wasn't it?
Leicester,
Before?
yeah. There's different places getting locked down, and it's just like, really. But I have inside information on certain areas where they were doing arrests, where they were arresting certain people. That's why they were doing lockdowns. There's also been an awful lot of things going on underground in the UK to do with tunnels.
And have you heard about the bunkers that they've been building
Right.
and that? Yeah, see, this is, you know what, I try and tell people things like this and they think I'm crazy. I'm like, do you actually research anything? Because the public don't actually know about these thousands of, you know, pounds bunkers that they've built under the ground. Now, why, please tell me why the government need these, you know, $1 million bunkers under the ground. What is going to happen that we don't know about that they do?
And also tunnels everywhere.
Yeah, the tunnels. And this is why most, you know, the bloody ground's caving in and stuff. People think it's Mother Nature. It's not. It really isn't.
Well,
It's what they're doing underground.
Well, they're blowing a lot of these tunnels up because they've taken out of the tunnels. There's an awful lot of children that have been rescued that have been kept down there by the government.
Yeah.
You can research it. I mean, I've stopped researching.
Yeah, no, I've
I've
read a lot of stuff myself. I mean, I try not to go on too much about it because people think, oh God, here she goes again. But
yeah. Exactly, because they're scared to find out the truth. And it's very clear right now how scared people are to find out what's actually going on. People just living in fear.
Yeah, of course they are.
Of everything.
Well, look now, aliens are real.
Exactly. Yeah.
That'll be the next threat. It will be. I can see it. That'll be the next threat. You've got to stay in your homes because the aliens are coming to attack us. And the government have even built themselves. Have you heard of the TB3? It's a replica of what, you know, they're saying these spaceships hover and everything like. And I watched a documentary and a video on it. It's amazing.
Yeah, there's some crazy stuff going on right now.
Oh yeah. It really is. You'll see one flying through the sky and be like, "Oh, it's a spaceship." No, it's the government's built one.
Yeah.
To frighten you.
Exactly. There's an awful lot going on. But the most important thing to learn from this is because the whole thing of the whole view right now is to make sure that we look after our children and protect our children. And
Yeah,
that's
definitely.
what I've been fighting for, and everyone around me is fighting for the same thing, to leave behind a better world than we came into, because the world we came into is an absolute mess and currently is a mess, and thank God Trump is cleaning it up, but we need to keep our eyes open and hold these people to account. And Trump is exposing exactly how evil they are. They can walk into a school and do what the hell they like.
Yeah.
I've had 5 or 6 doctors come on my show and tell me what's going on. Every single video from a doctor who tells the truth about what's going on gets taken down within no time at all.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah, well, they will do, don't they? They don't want the truth out there. I've seen many. I'm sure somebody said to me my TikTok video had been censored, so it couldn't be shared. Yeah. I mean, well, it's been viewed 3 million times, so, and I did see it got shared 250,000 times, so it don't really bother me if they want to censor it now. Enough people's seen it.
Exactly, and the most important thing is to wake people up. It's like on Wednesday last week, my main YouTube account, which has got 168,000 subscribers now, I wasn't allowed to upload any videos for 7 days. I got a strike against me. So we set up another one to put it on, but that's been shadow banned, so people can't find it.
Right.
But what I'm going to do during these 7 days, we'll load everything up onto the other one, which already has got 7,000 subscribers. But once the other one becomes active again, we'll move everything back across to the other side, because obviously that's got a huge following. But it's amazing the shadow banning and the sort of the blocking that they try and do. And I supplied, with the one particular doctor, I supplied the information on the WHO website and the CDC website as evidence that what he was saying was true.
Yeah.
And they still took it down.
Disgusting, isn't it?
The other thing that's quite funny is I don't remember fact checkers being around before the truth started coming out.
Oh yeah, no, I spend many a time sat blocking all these fact checkers on my Facebook, forever doing it.
Yeah. Well, good luck.
Thank you.
And
I've had so many people message me saying, remember to say this and make sure you mention this. And I think I've got some of it covered, but
Yeah. But the most important thing is to get the word out there to people. Just to,
yeah,
people don't like being told that they're asleep. So I've tried to change it to being aware rather than awake.
yeah.
People get offended with being fast asleep. In fact,
Well, yeah, as long as parents know, that this loophole, it's real and it's not fake. I mean, a lot of people thought that my TikTok video was, they thought that I was going on about the coronavirus jab, that my child had had that. I was like, no, it was the HPV jab. But even so, it doesn't matter what jab it is. If your authority has been taken away from you, you have the right to know as a parent.
and you have the right to know what they're going to put in,
Yeah,
what's the
exactly.
content of the vaccine, and yeah, you have to give consent. They don't have the right to just come in and inject you with poison.
No.
That's
They say my body, my choice, not yours.
Exactly. Well, thanks very much.
That's all right. You're welcome.
Keep up the good work. All right, Charlie.
I will. Thank you.
Cheers.
Hi, it's Justin, and I hope you're enjoying my dad's videos. Make sure to share this video with family and friends, like and subscribe, and turn on post notifications so you get notified for all my dad's new videos. My social media will be tagged down below so you can follow it. And just remember, Jesus loves you.